At the beginning of the movie, Jaya's wife Samira is about to give birth, and the midwife Darissa has come to check on her. Later, while Jaya is waiting outside, a woman named Sarna asks him if Samira's baby is a boy or a girl. Jaya doesn't recognize her at first, but she informs him that she is his mother-in-law's sister. After some time, Jaya's friends arrive, and we learn that it has been 40 days since Samira's father passed away. After waiting for a long time, Jaya's friends go back as they had come only for a one-day holiday. By morning, the baby still hasn't been born, and Samira hears the cry of a crow. She asks her mother if she heard it, but Darissa tells her to remain quiet. Darissa then asks Yati for hot water. Yati calls out to Jaya to bring the water, but he is sleeping and doesn't respond. Darissa goes to the kitchen to get the water herself, and then Jaya wakes up and Yati leaves the room. After some time, Darissa gives water to Samira to drink, and she asks Yati to get her a dark piece of cloth quickly and prepare more warm water and instructs Jaya to close all the curtains tightly. Samira's stomach begins to hurt, and midwife asks Jaya to check the bathroom and close the door. After a while, Yati comes out and asks Jaya to find a car as they are taking Samira to the hospital. On their way to the hospital, they encounter a man with his bicycle in the middle of the road. The man moves aside and takes out his machete, but by then, Jaya has already driven past him. Shortly after, some dogs try to block their way, but Jaya continues driving and moves past them as well. As they move a little further, they see the man's bicycle again, and suddenly the car breaks down. Jaya tries to start the car, but Samira notices the man angrily approaching them. Terrified, she asks Jaya to close the windows and doors, but the man walks straight past them towards his bicycle. Their car starts, and they move forward. However, they encounter a wedding reception blocking the road, and the guard advises them to take a left turn. They head towards the city, but after driving some distance, a black cat jumps in front of their car, prompting Jaya to apply the brakes suddenly. Jaya gets out to check, but he does not see the cat anywhere. He returns to the car, and we see a demonic entity caressing Samira's stomach. Samira tells Jaya that her stomach doesn't hurt anymore. They are confused by this, but Jaya remembers a neighbor mentioning that the baby likes to play, and suggests that maybe it's taking a break. They continue their journey and finally reach the hospital. However, when Samira wakes up, she finds that Jaya is not in the car and notices a crib outside. Suddenly, her stomach begins to hurt, and she becomes terrified upon seeing that she is bleeding. Just then, Jaya wakes her up, and she tells him that she is scared of having her stomach cut open. He reassures her not to think about what Nardi said, and tries to calm her down, but she expresses that she has a bad feeling. Once inside the hospital, a nurse named Ayu approaches them, and Jaya finds himself staring at her. He feels as if Ayu is undressing in front of him, but Samira distracts him. Jaya informs Ayu that his wife is about to give birth, and she instructs him to help Samira sit in a chair. Ayu then tells him that they will be checking on Samira, and when he inquires about the paperwork, she reassures him not to worry about it, since this is an emergency. She says she will catch up with him later for the paperwork and registration. Ayu asks them to wait outside the delivery room and leaves to drop off another patient. Samira asks Jaya if he knows why they had to come to the hospital, and he replies that he doesn't know, thinking her mother and Aunt Darissa had informed her. She then questions if he is not excited about the birth of their baby. Jaya says he is excited and asks why she thinks otherwise. Samira reminds him that he wasn't ready to marry her before, and asks why he stopped her from aborting the child. Jaya tells her to stop discussing this and promises to take responsibility until the baby is born. She then asks what will happen to her once the baby is born, and Jaya responds that they will raise their child until they grow up. Just then, Ayu returns with 2 more nurses and a doctor. Jaya asks Ayu how she knew his name, and she explains that she overheard his conversation with his wife. Dr. Umu then introduces herself, along with nurses Melati, Sushi, and Ayu, who will be in charge of his wife's delivery. They then take Samira into the delivery room, and Ayu asks Jaya to wait outside, assuring him that his wife is in good hands with Dr. Uma. Later, Jaya texts Yati to let her know they have arrived at the hospital. He takes photos of the registration counter, but when he tries to send them to Yati, he finds that the pictures are black. He then receives a call from his mom, but his phone's network goes out. He goes outside searching for a signal, and a rickshaw rider approaches him, mistakenly thinking he was signaling for a ride. Jaya explains that he was looking for a signal, and the rider advises him to try somewhere else. Jaya mentions that there was no signal inside either, prompting the rider to ask what he is doing here. And when Jaya tells him that his wife is in labor, the man is shocked to hear this. Meanwhile, Samira tells Amu that she feels cold, to which Amu explains that it is likely due to her nervousness and suggests that she try to relax. Outside, everything in the hospital lobby begins to reverse, except for Jaya, and after a while, everyone else gets stuck. Jaya notices this and finds it strange, but as soon as he looks back, everything returns to normal. Meanwhile, Samira tells Melody that she is thirsty. Melody turns around, and a glass mysteriously appears in her hands. They help Samira sit up, and she drinks from the glass, which turns out to be empty. After a while, Samira asks why everyone is staring and where her husband is, to which Ayu responds that he is busy with the paperwork. Shortly after, the nurses hold Samira tightly, and Amu puts her hand inside Samira, causing her to scream in pain and begin bleeding. Jaya goes to the registration counter and asks the lady why he is being made to wait so long, but she does not respond. However, when he mentions that he wants to be there for his wife during childbirth, everyone suddenly looks at him, and he notices that the rest of the people are standing up and staring at him. The lady and a man then hand him forms with the words "sweet blood" written on them. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the hospital changes, and Jaya begins to hear eerie laughter that frightens him greatly. A demonic entity then appears and quickly flies away. Jaya rushes to the delivery room but finds it empty, and the next moment, he finds himself in the middle of a forest. Now, before he can grasp what is happening, he hears Samira's scream and immediately sets out to find her. Meanwhile, we see the doctor and nurses telling Samira that if it were not for them, she and her baby would have died yesterday. They are the reason she is strong enough to be here, so now they will take what they protected. Suddenly, Samira regains consciousness and gets scared seeing that she is all alone. Samira somehow manages to leave the delivery room, but finds herself repeatedly returning to the same place despite her efforts to escape. Each time she tries to move away, she ends up back at the starting point, trapped in a loop. Soon after, Samira sees the nurses standing there, and a man in white on the other side. As Dr. Umu begins to approach her, Samira decides to run towards the other side, and in the next moment, we see her stuck in the forest. Meanwhile, Jaya hears Samira calling his name and is shocked to see her perched on a tree. He immediately attempts to climb the tree but fails repeatedly, and after a while, he notices that Samira is no longer there. Suddenly, Samira appears behind Jaya and collapses, and when he tries to wake her up, she doesn't respond. Jaya attempts to move her away from the area, but he is quickly surrounded by demonic entities who tell him they have unfinished business here. Terrified, Jaya sits down, and the entities tell him to leave Samira with them, promising to let him escape with his life. Determined, Jaya tries to wake Samira and continues to move her, but other entities tell him there is no way out unless he hands over his bastard child. Another group of entities tells him not to listen to them and to hand the child over to them instead. The entities then reveal that if it weren't for them, his wife and child would have died yesterday. Jaya tells them to leave them alone, but they respond that they will never leave his side. Jaya prays to God, asking for help to save him and his wife. After a while, he sees the man in white and recognizes him as Samira's dad. He begins to move towards him, and suddenly a bright light appears as a car passes by, and Jaya realizes that he has reached the road. He lays Samira down on the road, and then sees Samira's mother and some women from the village searching for them. They all bring her into the car, where Samira regains consciousness and asks about her child, but they find that she has lost her child. The next story begins in a house where Noor's mother, Laila, is on the verge of death, and neighbors are praying for her. Noor goes to her mother's room, where her father tells her that this is his fault, implying that if her mother didn't have it, they wouldn't have been able to eat. After a while, Layla tries to tell Noor something, but Noor is unable to understand what she is trying to say. Meanwhile, Noor's brother Hario visits a shaman looking for talisman and explains that his mother implanted charm needles in her body 30 years ago. He tells the shaman that she is dying now and requests him to remove whatever was implanted so his mother can pass away peacefully. The shaman asks Hario how he found out about this address, to which Hario replies that his father brought his mother here back then. The shaman then reveals that Talaman was his father and had passed away. Hario insists that his mother can only pass away if the charm needles are removed and pleads for his help. The shaman agrees to help and performs a ritual, and as a result, Layla starts suffocating and screaming in pain. After a while, her eyes turn red, and she begins laughing maniacally, which scares Noor, who is unable to understand what is happening to her mother. Meanwhile, the shaman suddenly gets a shock and falls back, and at the same moment, Layla also calms down. Later, Noor gets a call from Hario, who tells her that the shaman tried, but it didn't work. Noor suggests that he come back home and assures him that she will take care of their mom. She then goes back to her mom and puts a pillow on her face to kill her, saying she just wants her to go in peace. Layla begins to suffocate, and after a while, she stops moving. Meanwhile, the shaman tells Hario that he is not strong enough, and that the charm should have been removed by his father because he planted it. Hario says it's okay, and he's grateful for his help, adding that everything has been taken care of. The shaman asks Hario if they killed her. Confused, Hario asks what he means, to which the shaman responds that his father should know. Meanwhile, we see that the mark on Layla's neck has been transferred to Noor, and the shaman reveals that the black magic will be passed on if his mother is killed intentionally. On the other hand, we see Layla's spirit singing a song, and Noor, scared, trying to remove the mark from her neck. Noor enters the house and thanks everyone for their prayers, informing them that her mother has passed away. However, we see that her face is clear now, and she has a creepy smile. Thanks for facing the frights with us. If you survived this video, drop a like, summon that subscribe button, and brace yourself for more horror. Until next time, stay spooked.